excuse me. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of us. Welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. The scene is going to take place in the penthouse apartment suite of Miss Darcy Ellsworth, one of those apartments that are owned for the high-flying luxury condos that her father rents to the, shall we say, rich and obnoxious. Darcy has been informed via her quote-unquote mentor, Master Siren, that he will be taking her for lessons this afternoon, starting at 1 o'clock sharp. Actually, no, my apologies. Starting at 9 o'clock in the evening sharp. So he will have asked you to be ready when the clock strikes 9. He's generally quite prompt.
Oh dear. Darcy would have started to protest and be like, but you need to contact my personal assistants. I have a job. But probably that will not be really listened to much. So
Siren will have literally produced your personal assistant dossier file for you and will have crossed out whatever is on the list.
Oh dear. Yeah, so literally at a quarter to 9, Darcy will run into her penthouse. Is dressed as she is in this quite lovely picture. Very hastily dumps like a bag and just kind of dumps the contents of the bag on the bed. It's like, okay, I don't need pepper spray. I don't need this. I need my cell phones. I need probably a block notes or an iPad. And oh god, I need to change. I don't have time to change. We'll just run to her closet, pull out like this huge white coat that will, cover her up somewhat, and grab the purse, and we'll be yeah, we'll basically still be working to get ready at 9:05.
All right. You will literally be mid-stride at some point before it is. Darcy always has this feeling and she knows that, oh shit, so it's when the floor gives way from under her.
No, go, shit, the purse.
As you fall,
grab the coat and the purse.
The first thing you become aware of is a tram rolling by your direct field of vision. It is hot where you are, and it is very sunny. So you can tell, oh shit, I'm outside immediately.
Yep. Did she manage to grab her purse and her coat?
I'm going to say no.
Fuck.
Actually, you can pick one, purse or coat.
Purse. Darcy is nowhere without her cell phone, so that would definitely be something that you would grab first.
All right then. So, as the tram maneuvers past you, you can hear the clicky clack, clicky clack, clicky clack as it goes over its little track. You will see a sight. You will see this before you. Now, your memory works. This is a familiar place to you, but you can't really think why. Brain is working. Brain is working. What was the name of your reality show? Because I can't remember.
Oh, I never gave one. I don't know. Something. How to come up with something on the spot. I never really named it. Jesus. I'm usually better at coming up with stuff on the fly. How about we go with Sweet Child of Mine? Why not?
That's fine. During one episode of Sweet Child of Mine, which was a reality show that followed you when you were much younger, you remember you were taken to this place. It was on the road. You were going between Los Angeles and Sacramento. And it was on the route. And you were really hungry. and you whined, you moaned. But this was one of the few, this trip was interesting. It was a signing that was due to actually you were going from Sacramento to LA. My apologies, the other way around. It was the signing for the second season of your TV show. However, that of course meant that your father had to come with you. Now, your
Her mother.
father,
Mother.
beg your pardon, is it a
That
mother?
would have been, yeah. They were divorced at that time, and her father was in England. Her mother basically
Okay,
ran the show. She was in California.
okay, my apologies. Scratch that, reverse it. Your mother was with you. Now, it's funny when you're the child of wealthy parents because oftentimes you're handled via nannies, butlers, general keepers, but very seldomly by your own parents. And in this particular situation, you remember coming to this small ice cream parlor, this little diner in the middle of fuck off nowhere between Sacramento and LA. And your mother brought you in with her own staff, obviously, but for the it was one of the very few times as a child you have vivid memories of your mother physically being what you would think a mother would be. You know, like the stereotypical mom,
Hmm.
because that was something you never really got. You know, your mother was busy, and you were raised by a collection of different people and raised in the spotlight. So it was very rare for you to just have one of those moments where you had a mom, if you understand me.
Hmm. Totally.
And you will see leaning rather nonchalantly against the signpost that's outside. Hmm, he's about 10-15 meters away from you. That's Siren.
So yeah, Darcy on her high heels, so kind of like tiptoe over to Siren. What are we doing here?
I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, you pulled us here,
Did I?
did you not?
In a manner of speaking. I created the thrust, but I asked a question. Where before you were you happy? And this is where we are.
Oh, okay. Um, why though?
He looks up because emotion is a very powerful thing. Because have you ever heard those old kind of quips and anecdotes about how hope can overcome anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a statement of fact.
I
So
mean, there's also the statement of the fact that money can buy the world.
no, money can buy the earth upon which the world is formed, but it can't buy the spirit of it.
I'm not entirely agreeing with that. It's one of those things of like, happiness can't be bought with money, but without money, usually you are not really happy. Or so they say. I don't know.
Moment.
Hmm.
Siren seems to think for a moment, and he'll say, "Why is it you think that paper has worth?"
Because paper can buy me stuff. Although, usually credit cards.
Hmm. Siren casually reaches into the folds of his robe, and he will take out a handful. And Darcy has seen these many times, so she knows they're real. He takes out a handful of diamonds out of the fold of out of the fold of his robe, and as people walk into the small little diner, people don't appear to notice him doing this, but you can see him fine, but no one else seems to see him. he just starts dropping diamonds into their pockets.
Darcy looks mightily interested, but mightily confused as well. This is a mixture between what are you doing?
He'll stop after about 10, and he'll say, money only has power because people give it. Money only has power because people give it power.
Works for me.
Does it?
Yeah,
Why?
because I have money. I can buy things.
Hmm. Hmm. So you can buy what you desire.
Yeah. Well, almost everything, and if I can't, I'll just go to my dad.
I see. And what about those who are not so lucky to have this resource as you? Do you think it's right the fact that people who have nothing should people who have nothing should suffer?
No, of course not. I give a lot to charity.
But because money exists, there will always be the need for charity.
But without money, how would the world work?
He points to a homeless person. Once again, I'm glad Jesse isn't here, or else he'd mock the homeless person. Um, I remember that scene. He points to somebody who's clearly down on their luck, and he'll say, "Are you better than that man?"
Yes.
For the record, he can't perceive us.
Yes,
Why?
because I am me.
So, what is the value of self?
A lot.
Hmm.
Look, I mean, the thing is, people who are homeless, they're just sort of, I don't know, like, are they really trying? You know?
Ah, I see. Simon holds out his hand. Take this.
She'll hold out her hand and take it.
As he holds your hand in his, the world itself seems to evaporate around you. It seems to chop and change. Before you see that homeless man, but he is a much younger man. The bedraggled beard that was there no longer exists. The grey hair is more black, is more auburn, and you will see him kneeling over the side of a bed, a hospital bed, with a small child in it. The child can't be more than 10 years old, as there is the faint beep, beep, beep. He doesn't say anything. Siren doesn't. He's just letting you look on until you say, or do something.
Darcy will sort of stare at that, blinks. Seems to be, actually blinking some tears away because this is upsetting. And Darcy is not without feeling. She's just a rather insensitive,
As she brushes away the tear,
ignorant.
as she brushes away the tear, beep.
Why are you showing me this? I don't want to see this.
Oftentimes, those who have much do not want to see what those who have little must endure. After this, he fell into a deep depression, tried to end his own life more than once, and now he is the broken man that you see, who you claim to be better than, simply by dint of having more.
But Darcy gets like rather red in the face. She seems to be rather embarrassed of herself, but doesn't really want to admit it. So she's trying to look for words to, talk her way out of this one, and realizes that she really can't. Okay, sure. Not all of them are, but
Did you work a day in your life for what you have? Or did you need to?
I've worked very hard. You think running pageants is easy?
No.
You think, like, the show was easy? You think my life is easy just because I'm rich?
No. But then again, I don't make assumptions based upon your socioeconomic circumstances. The first lesson I'll teach you, apprentice, is things are never, no matter what you may think, ever what they seem. I believe you're more than what people would see in you. People might look, for the record, you're now standing in a black expanse. There's nothing around you. There just seems to be darkness on all sides, but you appear to be standing on a solid floor, if you understand me.
Mm-hmm.
He will say, I believe that there is more to you than simply what others would see. You don't have a bad heart.
What do you want me to do then? Like, I already give to charity. I help people when I can. It's just that, yeah, I am fortunate. I know I'm fortunate.
I don't want you to think that you're better than they are. Every life, regardless of if it is born to perfection or born in a form so twisted that God Himself must have made it so, as some punishment to the acts of man, still life and still precious. It still has the possibility to be something, to mean something, to in its own small way change the world. No one is better, no one is greater, no one is more important. I can wield great cosmic power because I have trained and practiced to do so. Does that make me better than you?
Yes?
No.
Oh.
I am just someone who has more knowledge. Knowledge can be easily gained. You are still as valuable as I am. Your life as valuable as mine.
I mean, that's with all due respect, but that's bullshit, and you know it. If both of us were in the sea and they could only rescue one of us from drowning, they would go for you. It's as simple as that. If there would be a homeless person next to me and we would both be drowning and they could only grab one, they would grab me. People place value on each other, on things. It's not just me, it's everyone.
Placing
Even,
value on something is not wrong. Something you can value something more, but that does not make that thing better. It's thinking like that that had millions of people served in chains, that had religions decree the concept of heretic, outcast, apostate, because they believed their way was better.
I'm not saying it's better per se, but there's definitely different values. I mean,
You judged a man based entirely upon how he looked, saying, I am better than he is.
yeah. And okay, maybe like perhaps I could have nuanced it somewhat, but I don't mean better as in better, but just, you know, Darcy trying to get out of this. There's no way she's gonna get out of this. And she's actually pouting somewhat. Um, like maybe I was wrong with this guy, but there's a lot of people who are like not working and homeless and not working because they just don't want to. Well, there's no need to run away from it like that. Pout.
I moved. Siren will nod and he will say, as I said, this is just the first lesson. Nothing is ever what you think it is, or rather, it is what you might not perceive it to be.
Okay, then how do I learn to perceive it to be?
That is the question. As I desperately look up what spheres Darcy has, give me a second.
I could put them in the side chat if you want it fast.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have you spent your month's XP yet? By the way,
I have, but I haven't got it on the sheet yet because, of course, it's not approved yet. Oh wait, I'm not on Facebook. God damn it. This is what she has at this point, and her XP request was. Let me go to her XP log. Yeah, I will add those as well. There you go.
wow, you just want to get every sphere at one, don't you?
I didn't really know what to do with it. I was like, yeah, why not?
Okay, that's gonna be today.
Hmm? Sorry, you were cutting out just now. What were you saying?
Sorry, I said. Well, that is definitely a way to spend your XP.
Right?
So many mages that have gone down the point of view. I'm going to take one in every, and I'm just sitting here loading my shotgun, being like, "The reckoning's coming, kids." Um, but he will say, "Very well then." Hmm. So, what is it you would like to learn, apprentice? I'm a teacher who believes in teaching you what it is you want to learn, as opposed to me forcing information down your throat.
Okay, I want to know how to do magic.
You're going to have to be more specific.
Um, Jeez. Well, what kind of magic is there? How do you do it? I know it's kind of different for everyone. So how do I find how I do it?
Simple. He raises his hand and he closes his hand. And when he opens it, he's holding your cell phone. You can
Hey.
tell it's your cell phone. Hmm?
Hmm?
You can tell it's your cell phone because it's that gaudy.
It's pink with diamonds. But yeah, her response is like when she sees that, she's like, "Hey, give that back," and we'll reach for the cell phone.
He will contemplate for a moment. He says, "You want this, don't you?"
Well, yes, that's
I'll give
important.
it. I'll give it back to you if you can tell me what it's made of.
What it's made of?
Yes,
Technology, plastic.
specific, specifically.
How? How can I tell what it's made of? Fine. And she'll grab her iPad, starts Googling.
No, 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 not that.
What? Why not?
Also, there's no internet signal here.
Fuck.
See with your eyes. Want it. Want to see it.
Okay. Um. Uh. Darcy's trying to, focus on this thing and then kind of looks back up. But what does that have to do with magic? I mean, I see
Roll your Eric
like
die.
That'd be great if she's like mid conversation. It's like, blah, blah, blah. 6 and a 4.
Beg your pardon?
A 6 and a 4.
Okay, that's 2 successes. Yep.
Uh huh.
Your matter site, which I'll give it to you because you're going to spend XP on it anyway, snaps on into distance mid sentence, and you can tell exactly down to the smallest minute detail what the phone's made of. You just know it.
Okay. So, yeah, she's like I said, sort of halfway through complaining about how to do this, and then she just kind of stops as she's, while she was doing this, was starting to get rather upset over it, and then um, starts to look a little closer. Um, Glass, plastic. Uh,
You'll even get it down to like the exact percentages of everything that is in the thing. Before
okay.
he will nod and he will say, "An excellent first step." He then closes his hand and the phone turns to dust.
Whoa.
He will then say, "When it is you've mastered this," he points at your bag.
She'll look at her bag.
Your phone never left your bag. Anything becomes possible.
But I just checked my bag and it was okay. This is fucking weird. But fine. So if I get upset, I can see things.
No. If you want something, you can see it.
I want something. Okay.
You have to be able to express your will on reality to make reality wish to do what you want it to. You wanted to see, so you saw.
But how, like, if it's that easy, why doesn't everyone do it?
Certain people are given the spark. Many people have different theories as to why this is, but no one can answer it for sure.
Okay. But why do if it's because you make it sound really easy. If I want something, I can get it, and that's
It
all.
it takes a level of mastery and skill. The more that you come to understand yourself, your avatar, your arete, which is the Greek word for excellence, the more power that you will accrue till you can do anything. For example, this is quite literally the space between spaces that we're currently standing in.
Yeah, it's creeping me out.
We can go back to the library if you'd like.
Um, yeah, sure. Um, but if it's as easy as wanting something, how come that others are using like uh technology or uh like magical words?
Because that is how they are impressing their will upon the world. They can do it in different ways of viewing it, all the same thing.
But we just want something.
Hmm. I view everything as a figment of a dream. The world itself is a dream. So it's pretty simple for me to manipulate my own dream.
Right.
You will find your own way in time, but for now, this is the simplest method to want,
Mm-hmm.
to want, to possess, to acquire. That seems to be how you think.
Okay.
For example, the next test. How old am I?
So this is also where I want to find out your age, right?
Yes, or I'll destroy your real phone.
What? No. She'll just kind of grab her purse very tightly, even though she knows that that really doesn't have much. Like she knows it, but it's one of those auto responses of no, mine. And she'll just stare again at Siren pretty hard, like actually frowning, making like almost one of those small childrens that are like making like the faces of thinking really hard.
Okay, roll your arete.
Hmm.
Technically, it's actually arete in life, but that doesn't affect the difficulty.
Eh, this is a 2 and 4.
Roll again. Because the 4 is actually a success. You just need more
Eh,
successes.
well, that's a fail. 1 and a 10.
You keep rolling. The
Yep.
difficulty just goes up by one each time.
4 and a 2.
Okay? You're now at
One and a
difficulty 7.
5. This is not going well.
You're now at 8.
Oh, Jesus.
You could just spend a
Yes!
willpower.
There's a 10.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You snap event. It takes you much more time this time to concentrate. It takes you about 30 seconds. The body that Siren inhabits is definitely, you can tell it is 123 years old.
So Darcy is like focusing, is actually holding her breath while trying to focus, to the point where she gets like a slight headache, and then she's like 123.
As of my last birthday. Well done.
Stop threatening my phone.
Stop being so easy to threaten.
Again, a pout.
I'm not going to destroy what it is you seem to so value. They just introduced me to this phenomenon of smartphones recently. I don't like them.
How can you not like them? They're great.
Yes, my other apprentice keeps threatening to buy me one.
That's you don't have a phone?
No,
How do you live?
I have books.
I mean, Books don't tell you what time it is. Books don't keep your agenda for you. Books won't let you go on Facebook or FaceTime or any kind of like Instagram. How do you live?
In a library.
Oh boy. At some point, I will show you fun.
I am quite happy lacking this phenomenon. Thank you. Um, I have my own kind of fun.
I mean, you've never once made a picture on FaceTime with like the cute puppy. Here, let me show you. And she'll just grab her cell phone and then realizes, oh, we're in this dark area where there's no internet connection. And she'll just, I'll show you as soon as internet works again.
I also choose to point out the amount of times I fucked with virtual adepts simply by the phrase "there's no connection here" has been amazing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Darcy may not be a virtual adept, but she'll freak out if there's no internet connection. Although it's not necessarily because then can't do magic, but more because I can't shoot selfies and put them on Instagram right now. Oh,
She proceeded to have a sad. So what? Around at the nothing that expands on all sides, and he'll say, "Yes, I sense that. I sense that a change of scenery may well be in order." At which point, a very kind of rock-style gold door appears, and he will open it and step through.
yeah, Darcy will follow.
You will find yourself in Siren's office in the center of the Library of Dublin. He will sit down and pour a cup of tea. He will then offer you a cup of tea.
Darcy will check if there's internet connection.
There is not.
Oh, she'll just, groan a little, put her phone back in her purse again. Will definitely hold her purse very close, but will accept a tea.
He will. Does Darcy take milk or sugar?
No.
Okay. He will just push the tea across the table then, and he will say, "Ultimately, the ability to do, express, or weave magic is a simple matter of wanting, obtaining, or wanting, effort, and obtaining. These are the three steps. They are often flavored in different ways by different people, but those are the three basics. You want, so it is you create desire. Through
Mm-hmm.
desire, you stimulate the avatar, provided the avatar and your power of the individual craft is sufficient. You work your will upon creation."
I see. I guess. Sounds weird, but basically, you want something, and then you find a way to get it, which is through powerful reactions of some sort.
In many cases, yes.
Okay. And then if that desire is strong enough and that reaction is strong enough, then you can get it, right?
Yes.
Mm. Okay. Hmm. And she'll actually think of something, and then will from her purse will grab a hairbrush, starts like brushing her hair as she's trying to focus very much on her hair being uh platinum blonde, because why the fuck not? We're being cheap here.
Yeah, you have life too. You can in fact do that. So would you like to roll me your two?
Yep. 7 and 8.
That'll be enough to kick off the effect. You'll need to put some more
Mhm.
into duration for it to last any length of time.
Nah, it's cool. For her, it's more like this is a test.
Oh, in that case, yeah, your hair for a handful of moments will turn platinum blonde.
So she's kind of brushing it at some point. She brushes through her hair and it just turns platinum blonde wherever the brush is kind of touching it. And she'll look at it like, whoa, will you look at that? Oh, okay. That didn't. Why didn't it last?
Because you didn't put enough effort into making it last longer than a few heartbeats.
Check. Okay. That's fine. Because I also had to dye it back.
Also, I will give some advice as I sense what may happen in the future. There will come a point where you will be able to do extraordinary things, things that are wondrous. For example, you are now considered by many to be beautiful, correct?
Yes.
Hmm. There will come a point where you will be able to make yourself more beautiful than you can humanly comprehend.
Okay.
Hmm. However, you mustn't do so.
Why not?
Because once a human being reaches a certain point in their development, or rather a certain point in their capabilities, appearances, etc., it becomes impossible.
Okay.
At which point the universe starts to exact its toll. We must even ourselves keep within a certain level of consensus of reality. For example, Siren walks over, he places his hand on the side of your head and he concentrates for a moment. Okay, I don't have a picture for this because I couldn't get one even if I wanted to. Basically, Darcy, he is going to mentally transmute a picture of the highest appearance entity Siren has ever seen, which is appearance 8.
Jesus.
So Darcy now beholds something that has that ridiculous appearance spec. It is a vaguely female form of an angelic being, but you essentially get where I'm going with this. He's trying to show you what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So he will show you in 3, 2, 1. Boop.
I think that something like that is so beautiful. It's scary.
Yes. It's why this is why I look around at people who are playing She nowadays.
Yeah.
Ever since it went from being chimerical to real, I'm sitting here going, "You're walking around with appearance. Oh Jesus, you are literally hunter bait.
Mm-hmm.
You are so pretty, you should not be."
Yeah.
Um,
I think I'm
but
gonna make a willpower or stamina. What do you want me to roll? Or both?
um, let's go with a willpower check. Let's make it difficulty. Let's make it difficulty 7
Okay.
because yes.
Where is my willpower? There, somewhere lower. There. Oh, that's not okay. That's fine. Is that difficulty 7?
Yep, difficulty 7, dear.
Oof. One success.
You're pretty freaked out, but you're managing to barely keep it together by your fingertips.
So yeah, Darcy is just sort of trembling and starting to feel nauseous. She's just staring at this image in her head. It's like, get it away, please.
You'll break the contact and the image will fade.
Okay. I what was that?
My mother.
Jesus.
Hmm.
Why is your mother like that? What
Have you ever heard the old story about and the Lord dispatched his angel and said unto Mary, "Congratulations for thou art with child."
no.
Really?
I'm not raised as a Christian.
Yeah. In that story, needless to say, the entity who told Mary that she would give birth to Christ was an entity named Gabriel. I assume you've heard of the Archangel Gabriel at least.
Didn't that appear in a movie at some point?
Yes,
Okay.
he kind of half face palms and references dogma into his hand. Uh, you will say the only problem was is that, well, as she puts it herself, the early church were superficially genderly biased wankers. My name is Gabrielle, and they fucked it up.
Um, are you? No,
I'm not Jesus, no, but my mother is said entity.
your mother is an angel. Like,
Yes.
really?
Yes.
I mean, I've heard people refer to their mothers as angels.
No, no, no. I mean it quite literally.
Yeah, I was gonna say not as literal as that. Um, I I don't want to sound rude or anything, but it does sound sort of unbelievable if you understand what I'm saying. I
My
don't mean
father.
to offend you.
No, I'm not offended. My father is the Archbishop de Matteo de Calvorne, the former Archbishop of Dublin, before he was moved back for duties in Rome. He's also an Archmage of the Celestial Chorus and was, up until a point, the most powerful magi in Dublin before he left. He was contracted, or rather, it was agreed that I would be born from their union, and so here I am.
Wow, that sounds placid.
Not overly. It was overtly complicated. The contract for my conception is over 20,000 pages long and written in Enochian, the first language.
Uh, Why though? Don't you just get a kid because you love someone?
In a manner of speaking.
Oy.
Yes, well, my complicated genealogy aside. I was merely showing you what happens when one is, in fact, too perfect, and how terrible that becomes.
Yeah, I guess your mom is an angel. It's just,
Is
oy.
this going to be some kind of sticking point?
I'm not sure yet. Have you ever had a normal life?
Define normal.
I mean, going shopping, going to a bar, have some fun, go on a road trip just for
I'm a cult.
fun.
I'm a member of the cult of ecstasy, my dear. I've had rather a lot of fun.
Oh, right.
I chose not to follow my father down his particular path when I awoke.
Good. You don't really come across as someone who's had a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. Why? Because you have preconceived notions?
Mm, sure, sure. It's just that I think anyone who had a decent amount of fun would be showing somewhat of an emotion if I said that they didn't look like they had a lot of fun, and you just said fine.
Hmm.
Like that! Where is your emotion? Jeez, you're like a statue.
He smiles. For the record, Siren does smile. He's smiling quite a lot. He smiles most of the time.
Well,
Um,
smiling statue then.
he'll say it's mostly because I'm viewing the world through your eyes. So, from your perspective, I suppose that my upbringing would be incredibly alien. But then again, as I pointed out, your upbringing for most people would be considered incredibly alien.
I mean, I won't deny the uniqueness of it all, but it was fun. And hey, I know my upbringing is something that a lot of people would really like, you know?
Indeed. But to answer your question, yes, I am more than capable of having fun.
Then why are we sitting here in a dusty library not having fun?
Beg your pardon?
We're not having fun.
Very well then. He cracks his knuckles. What would you like to do?
Hmm. Well, it is, and she'll just check to see if there's some sort of a clock somewhere.
Just one on your phone.
There is, but she's not really trusting her phone, and she's a little bit afraid if she gets it out that, you know, it might disappear again. But if there's no clock like in the room that they're in, she will check her phone. Um, it is about time that the nightlife will start getting interesting. So we could try and find a party.
Very well then. He will stand up and offer his hand. Let us go and find a party, shall we?
Yeah, she'll take his hand.
Okay. The hour is actually growing late, so we will call the scene there if that's okay with you.
Yes, that is fine.
Um, Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another delightful scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have plenty